And welcome to Premier Division. We are here at Bahrain for round 8 of the Championship Season 5. And tonight we have a bit of a different format. Tonight we have a sprint race which will be in reverse Championship order, which will then, the drivers will score points from this race, 10 for first and working our way down towards 10th place. And then this will also decide the grid for 29 laps round this track. Just to fill you in quickly before the action gets underway, we haven't got Brandon tonight, I don't believe, who's fourth for the championship, unfortunately. But we've got, in the top 3 of the championship, we've got Colin, who has managed to get a 51-point gap in the last few weeks after some great showings. And then Jetfish and Volcano, so that is something to look out for. Sorry if I'm speedily getting on with things. I just know it's all going to kick off when a sprint happens. And as you can see, the reverse order there. We've got, probably I'd say, behind Colin. Oh, someone's hit a bit of a sponsorship there. Gulfair will not be happy. Their board has been destroyed. They might have paid a lot of money for that board. Just on board here with Glassy. I think he's been on great form recently. 2 back-to-back podiums and finally having a bit of that look. I know I mention it every week, but one to watch out for. We've got Volcano, obviously, who's been very good all season. He is another one to watch out for, as well as, well, we know Jetfish in the Mercedes is very quick. And then the master himself, Colin. A shame tonight we don't get to see Colin Masterclass quali lap. We'll have a quick look at the tyres here. In chat, if you've got any predictions or you want to see any battles, just give me a shout in chat and I will try and tailor it to you guys as much as possible. I'll just quick look at the constructors as well. We have Ferrari out in front, 57 points ahead of Mercedes. That's a battle to watch out for. Al will be hoping to keep Luke behind him, and Jetfish, well, got Colin behind him, so they're in a little battle. As I say that, I think we had, was that Al spun round? I think it might have been. Hopefully gets his spin out of the way there. We don't see that in the race. We've got McLaren in behind, but they are down a driver tonight. No Brandon, as I mentioned before. Also no Backer tonight and a few others. So a bit of a smaller grid tonight, but we've got 15. We've got a sprint race, so expect a lot of drama and chaos. And it wouldn't be a Thursday night stream without having a bit of trivia. Bahrain was actually the first track to hold a Grand Prix race in the Middle East. Can anyone in chat name me what year that took place in? And an actual fact for you, Bahrain is the third smallest country in Asia, only behind Singapore, where we were a few weeks ago, and the Maldives. So if anyone's got the year that we first were in Bahrain for F1, put it in the chat and I'll tell you if you're right. But enough of my talking, we're about to get down to some action here. Evening F1 Widow, evening Ivor, evening Brian, and here we go. 5 lights, and okay, let's go. And Andrew looks like he gets a very, very solid start off, and he does, and he's past Giraffe there. Let's see if we can get a good camera angle. It can be tough through here. We've got a lot of movement, still terrible camera angle back there, but Spinola puts it up the inside of Andrew. He is past now. And there is some change in the places. Lucas lost out at the start, so has Glassy. It looks like someone might be round. That looks to be Giraffe, so an absolute nightmare for Giraffe after starting on pole in this sprint. It's all kicking off. I'll try and keep an eye on it. Al's already up to third, so he's absolutely flying. Brian, you are correct. 2004, the first race. Started in the day, now the race is in the evening. Well, Brian, I think you were on fire last week. And RPM Widow. Everyone's on it. Well, some gold stars for the class this evening. Right, so the Mercedes making up places. And we've had the Williams dropping a bit. And unfortunately for Giraffe, he's right at the back. Faisal down in 15th. We've got Glassy now back up to 12th. I'll try and get an angle on the action here, because Al has had a flying start here, as you can see, but Sminotler as well, up 7 places. We saw him on the inside. Andrews managed to hold on to second so far, under pressure from Al though now. Yeast managed to get up 1, and Jetfish, the real super starter, up 9 places into 5th. Also Colin up 7 places into 8th. Remember, it's people want to get these extra points, but you don't want to sacrifice your grid position for the actual race. So there's a real balance here, and Al having a look up the inside. That's it. Pull out of it a little bit of a shaky rear through there. But he's now having a look up to the inside here. Just can't quite get the move done. He's going to have a bit of better traction, but you won't be able to get the move done through here. Maybe down into the braking zone after the left-hander we might see a move. And no, he'll have to wait. We will have DRS from the next lap, so people will be trying to either break the DRS here or get within DRS. As we see Quinn coming under pressure from Colin, goes a bit wide. Now Colin will be having a look, but he's going to have to wait a bit longer. Looks like Quinn's got some decent straight line speed in that Red Bull. Giraffe has also got a penalty. When the action quiets down, I'll check what that penalty was for. Stay on board for Colin. He is the closest on track at the moment to getting an overtake done. He won't have DRS here, but he may use his ERS because he got a better exit than Quinn. Quinn goes to the middle of the road, makes it up to Colin to choose. Colin flicks over to the left. Now he's got the outside line for this corner. Quinn will be covering the inside. Quinn late on the brakes, but so is Colin. Colin gets it tucked in nicely, and he's got that move done. He gets the inside to that corner, but Quinn will be fighting back with a little bit of DRS here. Colin goes to cover it off down the inside, and Colin has that move done, but Quinn still keeping on in there with him. So now we've got Jetfish and Colin up 9 places, and we've got Al, and whoa. They kept it together just about. They were both off the road at that point. And they're still side by side. And Andrew's going to have the inside line to this corner. Al's still keeping his foot in. No, he's off the track and he's keeping his foot in. This is all allowing Colin, Yeast and Jetfish to catch up to this battle. And Andrew's still on the inside. And he'll have that corner there. But Al will have the inside, a bit of contact. Be careful, guys. Watch that curb there for Al as well. It's very slippy out there. And now Yeast, look at that. He's got such a good drive because he's not got a car that he's side by side with. He can just watch these guys squabble and put in some nice corners and catch them up. It's now Yeast on the back here. Whilst all that fighting was happening, Jetfish must have got caught up in it a little bit, and he's dropped behind Colin because he was in front of Yeast at one point. Now it's Yeast ahead. Going up the inside, there's wheel banging again, but Al's going to have to run onto the grass here. Andrew, Yeast making a bit of contact. No, it's Al making a bit of contact. Oh, and Yeast, no, sorry, Andrew is round. And he's spun. And, wow, there was about 5 cars trying to share the same bit of track, and it's still going on. Colin round the outside of the Mercedes. The other Mercedes up the inside. And we'll ride on board with Quinn. He's got a beautiful view of it. A Mercedes touch. Quinn has to go off the track. Oh, and he's got entity around the outside of him. It is incredibly racy here. Ivor saying, has Colin got no wing? I will quickly check that for you. No, he's all good on the wing. It did look like he closed in on someone behind, but I think you never know with a game. You can get away with it sometimes. And it's just calmed down for a second. Went from 0 to 10 very, very quick there. And as you can see, all the drivers in very close proximity, but Sminotler is checking out ahead. All that fighting for second place has allowed him to have a 3.8 second gap here. Yeah, inorganic, absolutely. I mean, I expected a lot more contact at Singapore and Monaco due to the nature of the circuit, but Bahrain has really been alive for close fighting and contact in all divisions this week, from what I understand. But it's all calmed down for a second. We've still got a 29-lap race to come after all of this. We're going to go on board with Luke for a second here because he's having a look at the Alpha Tower. We've seen both Alpha Towers having battles, and Higsy hung it round the outside. I think Luke will have to give it up for a second here. He does. He's still rocking his Christmas helmet at the moment. But the thing is, you're looking at this and you're going, oh, here we got Luke attacking someone. Well, he's only got Glassy 3 tenths behind him. It just shows one little mistake, or you're fighting too hard with a guy, you could end up losing quite a few positions here, and it all matters in the race. At the minute, it's Manotla that will take the maximum points for the sprint. And the gap's not really coming down too much, only 2 tenths. Eustace managed to get back. Let's go on board with the Mercedes battle, as they will be in a DRS zone very soon. And maybe there'll be a bit of team orders here, maybe. Al is gaining on the DRS, now he's deploying ERS as well. And he's sending it straight up the inside. Can he get it stopped? He does get it stopped, but Jetfish will come back at him. He'll be on the outside here, but he's going to have DRS, and he's going to probably send it up the inside here. So this is allowing Yeast and Colin, I've just missed it unfortunately, but he's made an overtake, as Entity went really deep behind these guys. And yeah, the Mercedes at the moment just costing themselves a bit of time, and Colin now is charged with getting after Smanotla. But Colin just keeping it very, very cool. He didn't make up as many places as some of the other drivers in the first lap, but he's just got into his rhythm and he's starting to pick them off one by one. I think Glassy may have also got past Higsy. I don't know if we saw that before. Volcano in 11th, he'll be hoping to get up a few more places. He is catching Higsy. Jetfish a bit too far back this time. We'll have a look at Quinn. Quinn hanging on to the back of Entity. I think this could be a nice little battle, but Entity also gaining on the Mercedes. It looks like he's got some great straight line speed in that Williams. And I mean, just look at him take off from that corner. I mean, he's got the DRS train ahead of him, so there's not a lot he's going to be able to do there. He's going to have to try and make it up under braking. As you can see ahead, the Merc's getting very close. Colin takes 6 attempts out of Smanotla, so that's spicing up in for first place. Yeast in a little bit of a race of his own at the moment. We've got Luke, Glassy's overtaken Luke, and now we've got Luke round the outside and right back ahead. We got Spritzy in chat saying good luck to all the drivers. Hello, Mr. Jones. Have a good one, bud. Yeah, I've got a beer here just for you, Spritzy. And yeah, well, the driver's making the most of the sprint race so far. Really, really attacking drive so far. Buckle in, crack open a beer, or if you're Spritzy, maybe a pink gin and tonic, and enjoy the racing. And we have Andrew also close behind Giraffe. Giraffe with the penalty though, but I'll stick with this battle for a second just to see if Glassy and Luke swap positions again, as I missed it the first time. And to be honest, I think I'm going to be... Oh, have we had someone go round? Yeah, Faisal has got past Andrew. So Andrew had a bit of a moment. And here comes Glassy. Will he wait and get the DRS for the next straight? He's having a look. Leaves it late. Nice and clean though. And he's going to have... Luke's going to be under massive pressure here with no DRS. We've got Andrew retiring in the pit lane. And Luke just getting his car in the right position. And not quite able to do anything. We've still got that train in front. That could all change up there. With Entity still chasing down those Mercedes and the Mercedes still fighting. The yellow flags is just because I think Andrew's AI is back on track. So it's not actually been a proper incident. Right, and can Glassy get it done this lap? Will he try and send it up the inside for the first corner, or will he wait for that second DRS straight? It looks like Luke has really struggled there. Maybe he's got no ERS left, and Glassy's going to have this move done before the braking zone. He does. He moves back onto the racing line, and he looks like he's got that one done. If he keeps it neat and tidy, he should be able to keep Luke behind, but Luke will have a helping of DRS. But Glassy looks like he's kept it very neat and tidy through there. But here comes Luke. It's going to be too far back. And now these guys trying to catch up to Quinn, and they'll be back on the back of the Mercedes train. And as I say that, Higgsy catching these guys up. Glassy had a little moment through there, and he's under attack from Luke again. Higgsy's got the best seat in the house for this one. And Quinn also, he's been dropped by Entity a bit. Entity going very, very well tonight. Seems to be finding a bit of form here. Unfortunately, his teammate having quite a big moment on the first lap after starting from pole. And Jetfish within 3 tenths of his teammate. Can Luke do anything? No, we'll go have a look at the Mercedes here for a second. Actually, hold your horses. We've got Colin. He's took some serious time out of Sminotler, and it is going to be a race to the line. 6 tenths. And here goes Colin. In the DRS. Nothing doing there. Going through the second sector. Can he catch him? Because he'll have another opportunity for DRS coming up. Into the braking zone. He'll get it tucked in. Here's his DRS opportunity. I think he'll be running out of time. He'll just be hoping to catch up a little bit and get a good exit off the last corner to have a run for the line. Using all the track on the outside, gets it tucked in. And I think he might be a little bit too far back, but he'll throw everything at it, Colin. But Sminotler, after getting that great start, sent it up the inside at the first corner. He is going to win the sprint. Colin up from last 2 second. Yeast will then cross the line in third in a bit of a race of his own. Jetfish managed to get back past Al, so that helps his championship battle. Entity with a very, very good finish into 6th. We've got Quinn in 7th, who had a very good race as well. Glassy making up 4 positions, followed by Luke. They had a absolutely lovely battle to watch. And then we got Higgsy, Volcano, Spider-Man, Faisal and Giraffe unfortunately having incidents which dropped them down. Giraffe, of course, starting on pole, and Andrew, who was having a real feisty battle up front. Unfortunately, I think he had a moment and he DNF'd in the pits, so he will be starting last for the actual race here. Right, so the question is, will we have as big a battle in that in the actual race here? Will we see more fireworks like you see behind the points there? And if the sprint was anything to go by, I hope we can have 29 laps of racing like we did in the first few, where it was all absolutely kicking off. That'll be a good watch. If there's any predictions in chat, be sure to put them out, and we will see if anyone can get it bang on the money. Shack Attack saying, "Come on, Astons and Mercs. Don't forget the Mercs." Well, you're covering a lot of teams there, Shack, so you'll have a good chance there. As we always know, Richie supporting Ferrari here. That's a bit of a surprise from you, Richie. I thought you'd be supporting someone else. Marco saying hi, but hi to Richie. So we've got a lot of people joining in the chat now. About to go into the race here after an unbelievable drive from Colin to make it through, but an equally impressive drive from Sminotla to take the win. As we have our warm-up lap here. Sminotla starting on pole. We got Colin in behind in second, followed by Yeast in the Aston Martin, the two Mercedes. We got Entity in the Williams, Quinn in the one and only Red Bull. Same with Glassy, just in the McLaren, no Brandon tonight. Luke in the Ferrari, Higgsy in the Alpha Tauri. Volcano and Spider-Man, the Haas teammates together on track. We got Faisal in the Alpine, and Giraffe and Andrew, who will be looking to make up some positions. Let's have a look at the tyres. So we have got, oh, sorry Andrew, I will pretend I didn't catch that, Andrew. So we've got Sminotla on hards. Then we've got 4 medium runners in behind. Entity on hards. So we've got 2 of the top 10 looking to do something different. Then we have Volcano, Spider-Man, Giraffe and Andrew on hards. Obviously trying something different, being lower down the grid at the moment. We have Inorganic making a nice little prediction here. Colin first, Entity second, Jetfish third. Entity second. That'd be nice to see. Something a bit different there, and maybe we will see Entity have a good race. He looked like he had great pace in the sprint, so you never know what will happen. And Brian saying Colin first, Minotla second, Glassy third. Well, Glassy has been the form driver at the moment, so I think that's also a very nice little prediction you've made yourself there. Let's see if we can get a good angle for this. Maybe we'll go on board with one of the Mercedes, because they can see what's happening in front, and we saw that the camera angles in the sprint were terrible when we're outside the car. Yeah, Glassy's got a lot to do for the Brian's prediction now, but he's in great form, so we might see it. And, okay, let's go. And Colin doesn't actually get the best start there. And a Mercedes right up onto him. He gets the inside line, no. And he's held off by Sminotler. Now he's got Jetfish for company around the outside, but Colin goes straight through the middle of them. Unbelievable bit of traction there from Colin, and it's getting very tasty here. Al has a bit of a look to take 2 cars, makes contact, which sends the Aston Martin into Sminotler in the Alpine. So Sminotler loses out. He's now swallowed up by the 2 brothers nearly. Yep, Luke's got the inside here, so Sminotler really struggling. I think he might have lost a bit of wing. No, it all looks good there, but he's now having a look up the inside of Luke, so it's all kicking off again. Glassy in behind, closely followed by an AlphaTauri. Entity unfortunately falling back, but he is on those hard tyres. So the medium tyre run is really getting off to a flying start. And Luke under some pressure from Sminotler now. Brian saying that Sminotler prediction didn't last long. No, but in fairness, you're competing with Inorganic in my eyes, and his Entity prediction's going even worse at this moment. All could change though, you never know. We could have safety cars, we could have incidents. We've already seen some contact between the cars. Let's get onto board with Al. He is not far behind the Aston Martin. Jetfish getting dropped a little by Colin already. Now just having a little moment out of there, having to correct it a bit as Sminotler gets past Glassy. So I don't know if Glassy had an issue there. Sorry I missed that, guys. But Luke and Sminotler got Glassy. Yeah, well, yeah, you are safe on Colin at the moment. You never know what will happen for some safety cars. Inorganic certainly put a kiss of death on his teammate. Well, if you reverse the grid, your team's doing really well at the moment, Inorganic. You have Entity leading from Giraffe. Unfortunately, we've done all the grid reversing for tonight already, so instead we've got Colin from Jetfish, from Yeast, from Al. And I'm just going to get back on board with this behind, because Sminotler and Glassy battling it out. But Sminotler's going to maybe have a nicer exit here, and this is all allowing Luke to get away a bit, but he's not quite outside the DRS range yet. And DRS will be activating after we cross the lines, so we will have it in the first sector after the first 2 corners. And it's actually Sminotler who's in trouble from Higgsy here. Higgsy having a look up the inside. Sminotler braking late. Higgsy's going to have to think twice about that. He does, he backs out of it, and it's Sminotler now on the back of Glassy. Glassy also having DRS on Luke. Luke will be struggling for pace compared to these guys in a straight line, with him being outside Quinn's DRS range, and Quinn also is outside of the DRS range of the cars in front. Giraffe has pitted for soft tyres, so expect some fast laps from him, but not ideal. He's have to make a stop very, very early on. And if there's a safety car, it could bring him back into play. And actually, at the front, Yeast is coming back at Jetfish here. Colin now 3.2 ahead of this battle. Al, Jetfish and Yeast, they haven't been separated so far. They were right next to each other in the sprint, and they're doing it exactly the same again in the actual race. And here we go, DRS wide open. Jetfish is going to be struggling. And it's a double dose of slipstream for Al at the moment, but he's going to wait. He might have a look at Jetfish into the next corner, but Yeast is past for now. But Jetfish will have DRS back on him, as you can see, and Jetfish takes off. Now he's looking down the inside. Yeast tries to cover it as best as he can, but Jetfish is on the inside again. Yeast hangs it around the outside, beautifully done, and now Al is having a look at his teammate. He will have the inside line to the right-hander, and he's through. So Jetfish loses 2 places in the space of 3 or 4 corners. Oh, what a bit of a dive there from Al. I don't know if he got his braking point wrong, but fortunately no damage to either car there, and no spins either. All this is bringing Quinn slightly back into it. He's managed to take 4 temps out of this battle. He'll need a bit more. Well, to say that, he takes another 2 temps through that sector. And Glassy is past Luke and Sminotla there. So he is now pushing on. Oh, wow. Unbelievable hold from Al there. If you get on that curb, usually you're either having a massive crash or you're definitely spinning, and I don't know how the hell he kept that. He's got way quicker reactions than I do. He will be under pressure, you'd assume, from Jetfish, unless Jetfish had to back off behind him, which looks like it might have been the case. And Al will now be, after that massive moment that could have easily been a race ender if he hadn't held it all together, he's actually having a look at Yeast for second place here. Yeast gets a very nice tidy exit though, and he should be safe for another lap. And we'll get on board with Luke just 3 temps behind Glassy now, and he's got Sminotla just 3 temps behind him, and Higgsy also getting very, very close to this battle. And Luke also having a moment there, and it holds it all together. And in moments like that, you can really see how good these Prem divs are. As we've got, is Al round? Al must have gone round. Has he got damage? Everything looks okay to me. But he's now under pressure from Glassy. Glassy on the inside. As I was saying before, oh, and a bit of contact round there. They're going side by side. Al's fighting this all the way, but his tyres are not having fun after that spin. He's twitching quite a lot. And unfortunately for him, after that great hold, but as I was saying before, that is how good these Prem drivers are. When you think they've dropped the car, they seem to somehow hold on to it, hold it all together and keep going in a straight line. Richie saying, need Luke to catch Quinn now. Well, yeah, Luke's caught behind this a little bit, but Glassy is pushing on Quinn. But we do have a DRS train here in the midfield, as you can see from that camera angle. And in fact, that DRS train is from 5th place all the way down to 13th place at the moment. So it's either going to be a lot of fighting or it's going to be very difficult to get the overtake done. But we see Luke run a bit deep there. He's under pressure from Sminotla here. Inorganic, thank you very much for spotting that. Jetfish has moved up to 2nd, everyone. Sorry, I missed that one. I was kind of completely lost in this in these mad battles in the midfield. Feel free to give me a shout if there's any battles you would like to follow. As Luke is now out of DRS and he's going to be under massive, massive pressure from Sminotla. He could do with putting in a blinder of a 3rd sector here to catch back up to Al and get that DRS. Because I think what we're going to see possibly in this midfield pack is if you lose that DRS, that's when you're going to get overtaken. It's all a bit of a cat and mouse game at the moment. And I'm just going to go ahead of this as we've got Glassy right on the back of Quinn. Glassy looking to move himself up into the top 4 as he does, and he's going to have that done before the braking zone. Defends the inside though as well. Quinn actually looking very, very racy here tonight. Is going to fight this one all the way back, and he's got a great exit. And I imagine with the DRS, he's going to have this on the inside. Can Glassy hang it round the outside? He's definitely trying it. But Quinn's keeping his foot in as well. It's getting mighty close. Well done, Glassy, and well done, Quinn, keeping it very, very clean. And side-by-side action all the way through there. And Glassy now, he'll have Jetfish and Yeast in front in mind as Yeast is back past Jetfish. This is all these fights allowing Colin to check out even further. Nearly 8 seconds to gap out front now. And this battle is really raging on as well. Quinn is still on the back of Glassy. Let's see if we get a view in behind. We've got Quinn still stuck behind Glassy there. Al back in 6th is also very, very close to this. Yeah, Brian making a good point there. It is very good for Glassy if Yeast and Jetfish are fighting, because these are some of his championship rivals and it allows him to catch up onto this battle, and he'll need whatever DRS he can get off these guys to keep himself away from Quinn and the others. But Quinn is now gaining behind this. I'll stay on board with this, but keep an eye on Quinn and Glassy. Quinn is going to get past there. Nothing doing here for Jetfish. Glassy's back past. This fight's still going on here. I don't know which fight to go on board with at the moment. I wish I could have a split screen here. Oh, and he gets forced right to the inside. Jetfish moves and it's getting really dicey. It's like the Mercedes battle of Rosberg and Hamilton there. And Jetfish is past this lap, but how long will that last for? As Glassy and Quinn still very, very close. This battle in the top 5 is really kicking off, and Colin at that point takes 1.2 seconds out of them in the last lap. Oh, and Quinn has dropped it. Oh, what a shame. He was having such a good battle with Glassy, and Glassy will be loving that because he's nearly got that break that he needs. He's 0.9 seconds ahead of Al. He needs to be over a second to break the DRS. Sorry, I was having a quick breather and a quick sip of beer. I'm back with you now as we have Yeast and Jetfish for round 9. And Yeast is really gaining here. Will he send it up the inside? He breaks late. He gets it tucked in there. And he'll still have DRS through here. But Jetfish getting a very good exit and covering off the inside early and breaking that toe a little bit. So he's going to be waiting for at least another lap. Glassy just within 9/10 of this now, but he's got Al coming with him. Quinn dropped back to 14th with his spin. So Entity has been promoted a place, and Andrew going quietly about his business up to 12th. Having a good race. He's on the back of that DRS train at the moment, so he could potentially have 6 cars he can get past, as well as Faisal, Spider-Man, Volcano. Volcano will be hoping to make some inroads into the deficit, as we've got Entity round. Every time I mention him, he seems to have a spin, so I apologise for that. I won't mention him again. Maybe we'll see him have a bit of luck. Yeah, DRS train from 2nd to 12th, Brian. Yeah, that, I mean, it's perfect for us. Well, it's a shame Quinn dropped out of it because we would have had even more cars in it, but I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of swapping positions behind Colin here. Somehow, if there's no safety car, I don't think we'll see Colin lose the lead here. 10.8 seconds now out in front. And Yeast, again, as we got Al in the pits, so he's the first to blink. He's going for the undercut. Yeah, but maybe with not having to brake for other cars here, maybe we will see Al pump in some rapid lap times and find himself near the front of this DRS train when they all reconvene later in the race. We've also got to bear in mind Sminotla, Volcano and Spider-Man, as well as Andrew, because he's right in there. They are all on the hard tyres. They are running a different strategy to the others, so they are still in the hunt for this podium here. as we see that Luke, who was behind Al, he inherited 5th. He is now exposed as he's 2 seconds off Glassy, and he is now within this, well, the DRS train is following him at the moment, and he will be under massive pressure. He's still coming, he's still coming. And who's going to blink first on the pit stop here as well? Will they just stay out and match each other? No, there goes Jetfish. So Yeast is released, but now, and Glassy pits as well, leaves it really late on the brakes, gets it slowed down, no penalties I saw. So it's all change, and they are probably a bit worried about the Al undercut. I'm just going to switch to Al to see where he is and where he'll come out. Doesn't look like he's had the quickest of out laps here, because we're about to see a Mercedes and a McLaren emerge from the pit lane just up ahead. Yeah, they're just going into the first corner now, so it hasn't quite worked for Al in terms of undercutting Glassy and Jetfish, who would have been helped by the DRS a little. And to be fair, Glassy massively gaining on the brakes into the pit lane there. So Al in front of Entity, who I think hasn't pitted, but we'll go back up ahead, see what's going on. As we've got Sminotler managing to move himself back into contention this race after the early contact. Fortunately no damage, so he's been able to get back down to business pretty quickly and setting very consistent sector times at the moment. And he is going to be putting Luke under pressure, as we might start to see the medium tyres fading and the hard tyres coming into their own. And what will Luke do? He stays out. He's going to be under pressure into the first corner here. Sminotler not using his ERS though, opting against that. Maybe he will use that for the exit. And no, he sends it. He almost caught Luke napping there, and I don't think Luke was fully expecting that, and it was a bit like Max Verstappen on Hamilton in Abu Dhabi. Seemed to come out of nowhere, and a great move in the end by Sminotler there. Now Luke is under pressure from Higgsy here, and I can't help but feel these medium tyres have seen their day, especially after how hard these guys have been racing each other. And just looking in behind, Yeast, well, the overcut was the thing to do. So my theory on undercut has been instantly proved wrong. Shows you how much I know. Yeast manages to overcut Jetfish, but he will be on colder tyres. We might see Jetfish close that gap this lap a little bit. We might see more fighting from those guys. Now Higgsy, Luke and Sminotler, well, I say Higgsy and Luke, sorry, they will be the next ones to pit as Colin keeps going. And when do they blink? Because we've seen that the overcut works. How much can it work for them? Because they were at the back of the DRS train. As we see Higgsy go in, we'll keep an eye on what happens here. We'll go back to Luke as he's close on Sminotler. And I'll keep an eye on what Higgsy's up to. Luke and Sminotler's so close there. Don't know if they made contact. I can't see from that camera angle. Maybe made a little bit of contact around there. And Sminotler now covering off the inside. DRS open. Luke having to go around the outside. Tries to switch back. Gets nice traction. Sminotler a little bit out of shape on the curb there, but he's going to hold on to it through here. No place to get an overtake done here. Luke has to back out of it a little bit. Oh, Luke's dropped it. Luke's dropped it. He's kept it out of the barrier though, and fortunately for Luke, he's got a big gap behind him to rejoin in. And those tyres have just given up. Sminotler, I don't know what happened to Sminotler because he's slowed right down. I didn't see Sminotler lose it. I saw Luke lose it, and they didn't make contact when Luke lost it, so I'm not really sure what happened to Sminotler. But that has effectively put those two out of that race with Yeast and Jetfish and Glassy behind. And that's not great. Either saying AI for Sminotla could well be. I didn't see it say he left the session. I'm not really sure what's going on. As we have Colin pitting from the lead. That was a interesting stop. I don't know if you saw that. Looked like they were doing nothing, but all of a sudden he was 100 yards up the pit lane. Anyway, well, and this has been happening quietly. And this is just how good Haas have been this season with consistency. We've got Volcano and Spider-Man into first and second. On the different strategy, Andrew in behind them. Making a nice little recovery here, Andrew, after the sprint race. And if I were these guys on the different strategy, I wouldn't be thinking about racing too hard here. I'd be letting each of us borrow our DRS and let's try and get up the road and make this strategy work. Because there could be a podium in it for these guys. I think that's how close it was with the DRS train. And they'll be on faster tyres at the end. And Andrew having a bit of a moment, actually dropping back from these guys a little bit there. I'll get back on board with the fights behind, because if these guys are fighting, that could be what costs them. I'll try and do the, well, I was about to say I'll try and do the calculations. Why do it when the game can do it for me? So these are the gaps to the leaders at the moment, in case you're interested. And as you can see there, Jetfish, Owl, Glassy, they are on the cusp of getting the overcut done, Volcano and Spider-Man here, but even if they end up behind them, they will have faster tyres at the end. So I think Volcano and Spider-Man's strategy here could end up playing out a treat, as we see Andrew also dropping back off that fight a little bit. I'll get back to the interval here, see where the fight is, and we'll go on board. And it's Colin. Who lovely through there and leaves the room. Very good driving from Colin. Don't want to run too deep in there. Oh, and he gets hit from Andrew. He gets hit from Andrew up the back in the downhill braking section. I don't think he'll have any damage. It doesn't look like he's got any damage. Sminotla nicely lets him go. But his tyres will be a bit cooked. I mean, he has gained the place. Albeit he's been sent into a bit of a drift. So a little bit of drama for Colin there. As you can see, 3.9 seconds down in the second sector. And I think this might be the first time ever I get to say, this is Colin doing a lap time more like mine. I mean, he has been hit and had a spin, but I'll take it. I've done a lap time similar to Colin. But he will now get after them. Maybe he'll be a bit careful on those tyres, because they'll be a little bit hot after that. Andrew gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in pit lane, and I don't know if Andrew just locked it up coming down into that downhill braking zone. It can be so tough through there, and you get so close. But it looks like Colin will recover okay and is in the net lead still by over 11 seconds. So I don't think it's going to affect Colin too much, which is good news. As we get back to the action, Brian's saying, I feel for you. Or I feel you. Yeah, well, yeah, it's so quick. You got to take what any victories you can, Brian, and that's the victory I've chose to take. When Colin gets spun, my fastest lap might equal his. But anyway, here we go. Back to the midfield battle, as Volcano and Spider-Man, still with their clear air out in front, are turning the screw a little bit and trying to get the race back in their favour. I'll just give a quick check on the leader time. And as you can see, Glassy, Jetfish and Owl, they're not really making any inroads into that. So even on the fresher hard tyres, And Al having a bit of a moment out of there. I really do think this is playing into the people's hands that started on the hard tyre now. Also, if anyone in chat knows what the Man City Spurs score is, if you let me know, that would be nice. I'm not able to watch it at the moment as I'm watching this exciting racing here. As we see, Sminotla now pitting. He's the first of those hard tyre drivers to pit. Entity also in the pit lane. And unfortunately for Entity, after a great sprint race, he struggled a bit here. Yeast now 13 seconds behind Colin, and he is under pressure. Colin also chasing after Spider-Man and Volcano here. What do I think the score is in... I'm going to pretend I haven't seen in organic. I was going to say 1-0 City, but I've seen it's 0-0 now. Yeah, City need a result a bit. I can't believe Arsenal are winning in the league. Well, they're going very well. But we've got Two Hearts also going very well here. And Glassy also. He's having a very rich vein of form in the season at the moment. 2 good results in Monaco and Singapore. Obviously a bit of a different format tonight with the sprint race, but he's making the most of it, and he's in the hunt for a podium. As we see Volcano in the pits. Now this is where it starts to get a bit interesting. These guys look like they're going to clear him pretty easily. As they're fighting still, Glassy is now past Yeast, and it's all getting a bit close through there. But look who's right on the back of this with fresh mediums. It's Volcano, who's brought himself back into this race massively. He's 3rd in the championship currently, so I think he might have absolutely nailed his strategy here. And I wonder if Spider-Man will try and go even longer. Yeast getting right up close behind Glassy, but now Glassy is trying to get away from this and keep outscoring the rest at the moment. I think he's got his eyes on 2nd place in this championship at the moment, and he has been getting the results to really manifest that. But Yeast in DRS, what will he try and do about that? And Al actually in behind is very close to Jetfish. He probably won't, he'll run out of time there, as we can see by the time going up. But we might see some change in the positions very soon. We've also got Luke right behind his brother, just half a second behind, down in 13th. As we see Spider-Man in the pit lane. And where will he come out? Can he jump Higgsy up into, well, it'll be 7th then. So Spider-Man also fitting the medium tyres. And Yeast a bit too far back. What we got with Jetfish now? Not a lot. Spider-Man, will he get past Higgsy? He will, and he's right in behind his teammates. So you can see how powerful that overcut is working here. And I really think the Haas drivers can get after this now. What can the guys in front do? We'll get back on with their battle. If they battle too hard, they're going to fall right into the Haas hands here. As Colin is checking out even further up in front. Managed to take those medium tyres longer, so he's going to have fresher hard tyres than the rest as well. And we got also, we got Luke. I'm just seeing where they are on track. We got a yellow flag in sector 2. That does appear to be, I think that is Faisal. But he's back moving. I think he lost it where Luke lost it. Just in behind, actually. Higgsy, well, it takes a little lap or so to get the tyres in the window. So Spider-Man's dropped back on the cold tyres. Higgsy now put him in under massive pressure, but as you can see there, the acceleration from the corners on those fresh mediums is incredible. so he'll be pulling away soon, I'd imagine. And I think we've just seen how the strategies are playing out now. But Volcano improves on his fastest lap by 9/10 now. He is the man on the charge, as Glassy, Yeast, Jetfish and Owl caught in this DRS train. Can't make any more moves stick after Glassy got past Yeast. Can Volcano go and upset these guys a little bit? And, oh, Owl running, nearly ran into the back of Jetfish there, dropping back a little bit. He's still just staying within half second of Glassy almost constantly. Brian saying City are 2-0 down. Really? I don't know if I believe you here. I'm checking now, and they are. Kulisevsky and Emerson Royale. Bloody hell. Unreal. So drama at the Etihad Stadium. Maybe we'll get some drama at the Bahrain circuit, as the Haas drivers on the medium tyres going charging for the podium positions here. Still got Al close on the back of Jetfish, but he's not able to get anything done. The most likely would be Yeast on Glassy because he hasn't got DRS, but he's just not able to live with Glassy in that last sector, and Glassy gets ahead enough just to maintain it. And just driving a very, very clever race at the moment in terms of defending. And Volcano right now, right on the back. Yeah, Brian, good point. It's probably one of the first times ever Arsenal have supported Tottenham tonight. They are doing him a massive favour. And Volcano now, he's looking very, very interested. And he's super, super close to Al here. Just looking behind. Faisal very close to Andrew as well. I'm not sure if Andrew actually got past him. Luke also still stuck behind Quinn, his brother, at the moment. But they are very close and they are catching Faisal. And I think you will start to see Volcano use this extra grip. And you can see it, yeah, he can just carry that little bit of extra speed into the corners and the tyres live with it, and he's got the grip on the outside, how much would I say, on the exit of the corners. But you'd be thinking now, if I can get a good exit here, I stand a chance. As Giraffe retires from the session, he's dropped it in sector 2. I don't know if there's a safety car here. No, it's not a safety car. There's a yellow flag, but it doesn't look like it's a virtual safety car either. I'm not really sure what's going on. I don't think it's a safety car right now. Giraffe dropped it, and then I think Entity also had a spin, so that's why the yellow flags were out for a bit longer. I can just see Entity's got moving again there. Yeah, 23 seconds off the back. Sorry for my confusion there. I should be telling you guys what's going on. As we've seen the last few weeks, you guys do most of my job for me. Right, so Volcano after dropping back a bit under those yellow flags. He's coming again. Oh, and out in front. Whatever happened with the yellow flags, it allowed Glassy just to escape a bit, and he is now out of DRS, so Yeast is now the man under pressure. And Volcano, I think he has got a strategy right, but if you come across a DRS train like this, even if you get that strategy perfect, it can be then hard to make up the positions. I think if he got the cars one-on-one, he'd pick them off slowly and surely, but at the moment he's just having to sit there a bit frustrated, but he's saving his ERS at the moment, 52%. We'll have a look at the others, 0%, 11% as we see Jetfish going for the move. But Jetfish running low on ERS, and so is Yeast. But Yeast back up the inside, and they're getting very close. And Owl's now going to have a run on both of them. Yeast is forced off track a little bit as they come together there. And he's going to hang it round the outside, which you can do at this corner. It's very wide round there, and he gets the exit. And Luke, 3-second time penalty in behind his brother Quinn, unfortunately. And now we're starting to see it all unfold. Volcano right on the back of this. Spider-Man catching up to the battle as well. That's also bringing Sminotla along slowly. Unfortunately, Sminotla, after slowing down, he's a bit distant from this battle. And we'll just go on board with Jetfish. He's going to be too far back. So now, I feel like I keep putting theories out there for you guys, but my next theory is it an ERS race now? Volcano having all that ERS left. Also, Spider-Man has more than the guys in front. And I'd imagine that could come into play. They might try and save it for when these guys are absolutely out on the last few laps and pick them off. But just remain patient if you can. But Volcano, no, he's using that ERS. And good on him. Don't listen to me. He's getting right. But then as Jetfish pulls out to the inside, that's going to scupper Volcano a little bit, having a look. But these guys making contact. Volcano might be able to get more. Yeast just holds on to it. I think Owl's still right here. Owl was forced a bit wide. And Spider-Man, out of nowhere, as a Spider-Man can do, he's managed to push himself up in contact. Oh, I think Owl possibly should have just got off the throttle there. And Owl's gone round. I think Owl should have... Oh no, oh no. And Sminotla's gone straight into the back of Owl. Ah, and that's such a shame. It was such a good battle. I think Owl could have just got off the throttle a little bit there. I think it was always going to be a bit ambitious. And yes, Inorganic, thank you very much for shouting that out. Safety car, it is. And we're going to have our second sprint of the evening, just a much shorter one. I imagine we'll see Colin with his gap. He will go in, for the soft tyres. And we'll probably get to see how Colin restarts again. We know he's good at those restarts. He's been there, done that. Glassy, I imagine we'll see everyone pit for the soft here, and we're just going to see a full, all-out war, basically, to the checkered flag. Because I think we'll be behind a safety car. Maybe because Entity's about 48 seconds off the back of the pack after having some issues. I think we'll probably have a couple of laps behind a safety car, so we'll probably have just the 2 or so laps racing. So I think we're going to see some serious elbow out racing. I'll take a quick sip of beer here as I've spoken my mouth dry. Very tasty. And we'll have a quick look. Well, we got penalties. Andrew, 5 seconds. That was speeding in the pit lane. Yeast, I think that might have been speeding in the pit lane again. And actually, they'll be able to serve them as we've seen Andrew just serve his. And are we all on softs? Everyone is on softs. Entity's on 2-lap old softs. And we'll have a look at the position change there. So you can see the Haas's really making that strategy work. Both up 6 places. Glassy also up 6 places. So the stars of the Grand Prix here. But we had some stars in the sprint race, like Colin and Jetfish. Yeast, or Mr. Bread as he's called in YouTube, saying all that hard work for nothing. You didn't... Oh, so you've picked... Oh, Yeast, I feel for you. Speeding in the pit lane then. At times like that, you just have to laugh, I think, Yeast. Unlucky. Great race, though. Ivor saying it's a sprint race again. It absolutely is. We've had a sandwich of sprint races today. Sprint races being the bread, and effectively some nice, exciting racing, but stuck in a DRS train. And now we are going to have, I think, probably a couple of laps without DRS. So it's all going to be in the corners, on the brakes, some brave driving. And I think we'll have some exciting laps. Inorganic saying, yeah, everyone should go on soft. Great finish to the race. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you've nailed it on the softs. Everyone has gone onto it. And as you can see, Yeast actually serving his penalty there, which is definitely a good move because he stays in 7th at the moment. No, he's going to drop down. He's going to be 11th, but at least he can fight. 5 seconds will kill you if you're still in the middle pack, so he has to try something. Entity is just coming into the 3rd sector now, so they're going to be waiting a bit longer. Yeah, I agree in Organic. I think it will be a great finish to the race, and as you know from Tuesday night, I think unfortunately there's been some incidents at this track, some contact, some more avoidable than others, but some really fun racing this week, I think, and certainly for watching we've seen some great battles. Glassy and Yeast comes to mind. They had a nice battle. And, well, to be fair, there's been plenty of them. They've all been having some nice fights. And Colin also managing to get through in that sprint very clinically. Right, so Yeast will have 1 lap fresher softs, although everyone's softs wouldn't have had much energy put into them. So they're all going to be pretty fresh. We will come round on the 27th lap, and I imagine we'll be racing. And we'll have lap 27, lap 28 and lap 29, so we'll have 3 laps of racing if the safety car comes in this lap. Entity looks like he'll catch them, and he's managed to get himself some fresher soft tyres on, so it's all worked well for him. And maybe in Organic, if Entity can have the 3 laps, the 3 perfect dream laps, your prediction could still be on here. And I don't think the safety car is coming in, so we're going to have just 2 laps now. So we'll cross the line here onto the 27th lap, and we'll be going live at the 28th lap. Entity had caught up, so I'm surprised that it wasn't let go any sooner. It's a shame. Would have been nice to have an extra lap in there. I'll see if I can find any more trivia for you from the World Wide Web. Here's one for you. Bahrain is the biggest per capita consumer of electricity in Asia and the third biggest in the world after Iceland and Norway. Having a look around up in the sky here at these floodlights, that does not surprise me a great deal. I imagine that is not very cheap to cover. I'm glad I don't pay that electricity bill. And another one, Bahrain is actually only 50 years old as a country. I think that is enough trivia for now. I'll get back to my wild theories on what's going to happen and get them all wrong. Brian's saying, yeah, not Singapore, they have so many lights as well. That's very true. I'm looking around this track though. I mean, we really should be watching a racing. This is why I'm not the best commentator. There's a hell of a lot of lights around here. Even got these smaller ones. I'm just looking at the architecture. We're just basically having an architecture lecture now on race track planning instead of actually racing, but that's what a safety car can do. But we will be going racing this lap, thank God. You won't have to listen to it for much longer, as Colin now starts to back up the field. Question is, when will Colin go? We saw, I think, in First Division on Tuesday night, a lot of people leaving it quite late. They were going on the straight, and Colin looks like he's going to do that as well. He doesn't want to give anyone the toe all the way down the straight, and he's gone there. Glassy was wise to it though. But so was Jetfish, and Jetfish actually gaining a bit on Glassy there. So we'll have a look at this angle. Can we get the battles? We've got one here, Higgsy and Faisal moving himself up into 6th place. We've got Yeast still stuck in 11th at the moment. Higgsy gaining back here. He's going to try the switch back. Chris saying it's going to be spicy. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very spicy. Unfortunately, the Haas has lost their tyre advantage. But it's getting very, very close up here. Colin's just trying to check out at the moment. He's done exactly what he needed to do in the first sector. Glassy and Jetfish are keeping with it though, but Jetfish gets a beautiful exit out of there, keeps it a bit neater than Glassy, but they will both be absolutely using up their ERS to fight this any way they can. And Glassy taking a bit more pace into the corner there. Jetfish actually closing this corner off a little bit to get a wider run in here. And nothing doing there for Jetfish, takes a bit more curb, and he's still right in there, but we're not going to have DRS. No DRS for this little mini sprint we've got on our hands. So it is just going to be all in the braking zone. Can you cover the positions off? I think Colin is away now, but he can't afford to make any mistakes. He sets the fastest lap of the race as well, as Jetfish and Glassy both improve their fastest lap times. And Jetfish in behind here. He slows it down a bit more. He's going to try and get it cut back, and he does get a lovely exit out of there, and Glassy's going to be under pressure. He'll be using the rest of that ERS up. Maybe Jetfish thinks about saving a little bit. Glassy covers the inside, but Jetfish is going to have the drive, and he's going to have the inside to the right-hander, but he holds it round the outside, and he's got the inside to the left-hander, but he's going to be exposed into this corner. Jetfish going to the outside. The Haas is now coming as well. Tries to switch back. The Haas get close into the back of them, and they might switch positions. And oh, so close there. Not quite getting it done there, Jetfish, and he's going to run out of opportunities now. Colin is 2 seconds ahead, so he is going to win another imperious drive from Colin, as he's really fighting this championship away from his rivals in the last few races. Glassy looks like he's going to have 2nd place all sewn up, and to make it 3 podiums on the bounce. Jetfish with a great race here as well, up to 3rd, and some mega points in the sprint race will help his championship battle with Glassy that little bit. Volcano also putting these guys under a bit of pressure and actually catching them a little bit through there, and he will have a bit of damage limitation there. A great race from Spider-Man. I thought he's making his strategy run go really well. Faisal, unbelievable recovery from him. Got all his positions back at the end. Up to 6th. Higgsy 7th. We had Quinn, who'd been battling with his brother for most of the race, in 8th, I believe. It looks like he's still battling with his brother there. Albeit the AI doing it. And Glassy, driver of the day in the race. Well, I think Glassy was brilliant in the Grand Prix. I have to give him that. And I think Jetfish and Colin were brilliant in the sprint. Not to forget Sminotla as well. So we have, after Quinn, we've got Higgsy. We've got Al in 11th after that spin. And Entity, who will be disappointed after a great sprint race. And then Luke in 13th. Having some issues himself, but another great race. Colin also scoring the fastest lap points, so he will extend that lead. And I think the battle now really is between Jetfish, Glassy and Volcano for 2nd in the championship. Thanks everyone who joined tonight. Inorganic's only got 2 out of 3 for his prediction, and Brian also got 2 out of 3, just missing out on Entity for Inorganic and Sminotla for you, Brian. Unfortunate. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We will be back next week with some more racing, and we'll see how the 2nd place battle in the championship goes. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great evening, lovely Thursday night, and we'll see you next week.